Welcome to USMLE Sarthi. We are committed to empowering IMGs. We're excited to guide you on your match journey. Don't forget to click subscribe and turn on notifications so you can get notified whenever we add new content. Also, follow us on Instagram and Twitter for the latest tips and tricks regarding everything USMLE. Now, let's dive into it.
We know we are ready to put on in the hard work, but we need the right path.
I have nice conversations with her whenever I was there, and I asked her that, do you know when the chairman will come?
That's where I think the Sarthi really helped me.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. This is USMLE Sarthi team with another webinar to help you. And today we are going to talk about the latest match results, which came out in March. So how that can help you decide your specialty. And of course, we will talk about some of the other things that go into the match, the importance of your USCE, maybe how to plan the match. And you will hear from a lot of match students today as well. Okay. With that, let me get started. For those of you who don't know about Sarthi, I'm the director, Pawan Khera, and I'll be joined by my team, who will share the link and answer your questions in the chat. Now, how this will work is, of course, you can ask questions in the chat. We will have speakers, but you'll have to have some patience because when I'm presenting, I'm likely not looking at the chat window. Okay. With that, let me get started, and we will, go from there. Aditya, Sejal, and Aarti from our team, they are there, and they will also be answering questions. Anything about the Sarthi plans, they will answer as well, right? So in case you have anything, they will be happy to help you. And Aditya and Sejal and Aarti, if you can put your contact information as well so that they know how to reach you. Okay. So with that, and thank you, I think Sejal has just put in her information and also about our match results. So we'll talk about those in a minute, but let me just share the screen and get started for today. So hopefully the screen is visible. And of course, this data is from NRMP, right? So this is all from NRMP. You can, we have analyzed that data for you. As and when more data comes in, we will do the analysis as well. So the first chart shows you the match rate over the years from 2021 to 25. And the idea here is to show you that for both the US IMGs, non-US IMGs, so IMGs in general, the match rate tends to be very, very high. It's more than 50%, right? At the minimum, whether you need visa, you don't need visa, US IMG, non-US IMG, the match rate is very high. And it has stayed, there is a minor dip, for example, for non-US IMGs in terms of percentage, as you can see, 58% compared to 58.5 last year. But the number has gone up, it's gone up by about 800 over the last season, 2024. The idea here is that match if you pick the right specialty, match is definitely possible. It's more than 1 in 2 IMGs can match. So a lot of times when IMGs have a confusion or say match is competitive, it's hard, yes, but it also depends on the specialty. So if you pick the right specialty based on your profile, I think the chances of success are very high. Now, this is also something that you need to look at very carefully. So for example, take internal medicine. This is 2025 data, as I said. Total filled positions were about 10,584. So about 10,600 internal medicine spots in all residency programs here, right? So This is the specialty for IMGs, which has the highest number of spots. And, that's why you'll see the IMGs here, they flock to internal medicine. This is the bread and butter specialty. If you have a decent profile, and we can go over the NRMP, more data in terms of CK scores and all that, but I've covered that in other webinars also. So if you have the profile for IM, you will see that about 4,600 IMGs matched this year, right? So if you are a US IMG versus non-US IMG, you can still see that the highest number of non-US IMGs match in internal medicine. So the success rate in internal medicine is very high. Now, when you look at this chart, you have to look at two things. You have to look at the spots which are available or filled, and then you look at the percentage of IMGs, whether it's US or non-US. But those two things have to be taken into consideration. Okay. For example, neurology, if you see the non-US IMG percentage is high, it's 23.9, but overall spots in categorical neurology, a 4-year program, is only 930 or 925 were filled. What does that mean? That means in neurology, you really have a tough competition because the spots are low. It doesn't mean IMGs don't match. We've had a lot of IMGs match our own students in neurology. And I think Sejal has shared that match page. You can go and look at it. Today also, you will hear from Dr. Aditya Chanpura, who matched in neurology as a visa-seeking IMG. So, but the point here is that when it comes to neurology, you are looking at a less number of spots, although the match rate, even if you need visa, is very high. Likewise, if you look at pathology, the spots are even less, right? 600 spots in pathology. So the number of IMGs matching tends to go down, although you will see that the match rate, the percentage is very high. So same logic applies in pathology. If you have a very strong profile, I think you have a decent shot in pathology. Most of the pathology applicants tend to have home country residency in pathology. Neurology, they have a lot of research in neurology. Obviously, the entire profile is neuro-focused. So that's something I want you to be aware. It is not only the percentage match, but also the spots that are filled, right? That's where you have to focus. So as I was mentioning, the key shifts in the match rate and specialty this year, internal medicine does remain a very friendly specialty, both in terms of number of spots and in terms of the match rate. Pathology and neurology, we already spoke. The match rate is high, but the number of spots is less. Okay, so now family medicine, as many of you have maybe figured out, and we'll talk about it. If you don't need visa, family medicine is a decent shot. But if you don't need visa, it tends to be slightly more challenging, especially for older YOGs. Okay, and we'll talk about that. Now, this chart here shows the specialty fill rate over the last 5 years for both US IMGs, non-US IMGs. So as you can see, for non-US IMGs, internal medicine, so this is more than 55%, as it's visible here. For US IMGs, IM is, high 30s and close to 40%, right? But if you look at family medicine, the picture just changes. The match rate for US IMGs in family medicine here in green bar is much higher in percentage terms than non-US IMGs. So blue bar is internal medicine, green is family medicine. So you can see that. The other thing which you will realize is pediatrics are suddenly opening up. And you'll see those numbers, but pediatrics over the last 2 seasons, and maybe it's not that visible in the percentages here because they are very granular. Pediatrics is becoming more open to lower scores, to YOG challenges, and over the past 2 seasons, pediatrics match has become relatively easy. But as you can see, psychiatry, if you don't need a visa, tends to be a bit higher match as opposed to non-visa or non-US IMG, although the match rate is still, in terms of percentages, low. And likewise, we discussed about neurology also. So just to summarize in terms of the percentages, right? Percentages, and again, not the spots, percentages, internal medicine, pathology, and neurology. This is for US IMGs, non-US IMGs, internal medicine, pathology, neurology. But like I said, also look at this number, 3,573. Number of applicant or number of spots plays a very important role. Okay, so same kind of observations. Internal medicine and neuro and pathology, while have a higher match rate, the spots are very low. Okay, family medicine, if you don't need visa, tends to be very high. Psychiatry is becoming very competitive. Pediatrics is becoming a bit more easier. With that, let me see if you guys have any questions so far that I can answer. So anything, I can proceed. We do have other speakers also, so we can proceed. If you don't have questions, and I can take it later on. If you have any urgent questions, let me know. Last bit of data that you may have seen, because we do get a lot of questions on the state. Okay, so this is by percentage, IMG match rate by percentage. So New Jersey, New York, Michigan, these three have been across the specialties, all put together. The favorite states for IMGs, the match rate tends to be very high, and this is again based on the 2025 data. But if you look at the top 8 or 7 states here, New Jersey, New York, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Illinois, Texas, and California, rounds up the top 8. Okay. Look at the data here, the total IMGs match. So if New Jersey had 100 spots, or in this case, 1376, 564 across all specialties went to IMG. So New Jersey, New York, Michigan, that you can see. Of course, New York has the highest number, right? So number 1679 out of 4883, because New York tends to have the most spots, that you can see. So look at the states, they have the highest penetration of IMG. So as you are looking at the states, a lot of students tell me, I'm based in California, or I'm based in XYZ. Can I continue all my rotations in that state? Probably yes, but then you also look at this data and say, okay, have I covered my top 3 states when I am doing my rotations? And this is what, we have a lot of rotations in all the IMG friendly states. So Aarti, if you can, put that link, and especially I want to, a couple of rotations where we have probably dropped the prices. We'll talk about that as well. But remember that New York, New Jersey, Michigan are the top 3. Specialty wise, you can see in New Jersey what the total positions, you can see that in internal medicine, 503 were the total positions, non-US IMGs 117. So I'm not going to go through all of this, but this is just to give you a picture on how each state has been covering the IMG and non-IMG match, right? So New Jersey is big on transitional year as well, right? They got a lot of spots, and we do have some rotations in a transitional year program. So Aarti, maybe you can put that link. And actually that fee has dropped, I think, for the tele-rotation. So Sarthi can send you that link, but just a sense of how New Jersey has played out. So you can see Of all the specialties, mostly IMGs capture about 40%. New York, in terms of percentages, also, if you look at internal medicine, very high percentage of IMG match rate, 52%, right? Pediatrics has 400 spots. IMGs have, secured 214. So again, New York in all specialties tends to do very, very well. Transitional year also, you can see. So New York, New Jersey, as probably all of you knew. Michigan, same idea. I'm not going to go through all of it, but look at how this is playing out in internal medicine, pediatrics, especially, and even family medicine. If you see, is doing pretty well. So. Pennsylvania, again, the issue with Pennsylvania is if you live in Pennsylvania, Pennsylvania doesn't allow hands-on rotation. So what we recommend to all our students is maybe do an observership in Pennsylvania. We do have some rotations as well in Pennsylvania, but try to look for rotations in other states if you live in Pennsylvania. Ohio is the same story, not much rotations which are hands-on, but one of the top states when it comes to match. This is the summary chart overall of all the states, and you can see it in one glance. And of course, we'll make it on Instagram also, we'll make it available so that you can see. So percentages by specialty and by state. So my team has put it together. It's a very good chart. So thank you, Aditya. Internal medicine, as you can see, across the state percentages. So Michigan 56%, New York 52%. So this will give you a sense of IMG match rate in one screenshot of all the specialties in terms of percentages. But like I said, percentages have to be read together with the number of available spots. Okay. We've already gone through some of these observations. So that was all in terms of what I wanted to present in terms of the match rate for IMGs by states and by specialty. With that, we do have our speakers who are here today, and I want to welcome them all. And what we'll do is we'll go to each of the speakers and then they'll introduce, they will tell you the specialty they matched, and then some tips for match. So I think our first speaker is Sumana. Sumana, let me give, okay, so you have access. So welcome. And Sumana, thank you for your time. We are glad you could make it. And the floor is all yours. Why don't you introduce yourself and, talk about your tips and what guidance you have for IMGs.
First of all, thank you so much for having me here today. And a special thanks to Pavan. And my name is Sumana. And I finished my medical education in the eastern part of India, which is Kolkata. Like if anybody wants to write down the profile, because I used to do that, they can do. I will give overall picture of the profile. My year of graduation is 2022. Steph scores 1, 2, 3 is 229, 254, and 231. And I had 2 research experience and like 9 of publications, but most of them were concentrated to Curious. So I don't know how it was seen by the program director. And in terms of US clinical experience, I couldn't do much. 2 hands-on, and one of them I got through Sarthi, and 1 observership that I had my personal connection in Texas. And in terms of match, I matched this year into internal medicine, into Sutter Health Altabets Hospital in Oakland, California. And in terms of my visa, I am non-visa requiring, the non-US IMG, but just recently my green card got approved. But I applied as a applicant, green card applicant. That is the second, that comes second in the options, I think, adjustment of status applicant, something like that. Yeah. So this is overall my profile, and this is where I matched. And like I would say that like US clinical experience, you should definitely do as much as you can. But unfortunately, I couldn't do. But I don't recommend that. I had only 3, so I definitely suggest do at least 4. And the second tips, the be ready on day 1. I was not ready on day 1, and I got total 11 interviews. But I'm pretty confident that if I would have been ready on day 1, I would have got at least 5 to 6 more interviews. So that's significantly hard. But again, like it's fine. And then other, I'd say that what worked for me, definitely the number 1 is being non-visa requiring is probably a benefit, but I don't know how much it help. And then secondly, I think it's very important being ready with the step 3 score, because all my interviews, like 2 or 3 PDs, they really told me that you have good step 3 score, and we are really happy about it. And regarding interviews, this is where I think the Sarthi really helped me. That is the interview preparation. And that's why I said special thanks to Pawan, because the short classes Pawan has on interview preparation, where he basically walks you through the skeleton of the answers, like what should be there in the answers. Like this is like very interesting to me. Like he just does not dictate that what you should say. He tells you what points to touch, and based on that you create and you build up your own story. And this is what I really liked about it. And I think this was the missing piece in my whole process. All my interviews I attended, the faculties, like they told me that Sumana, you are a good applicant. Maybe like this is something generic they say, but I felt like good about it. But whatever, like yeah, that is the thing. But interview preparation, even like after matching, when I went back to some of my colleagues, some of my seniors and juniors who were applying, and I came to know that they didn't match, I recommended them that you should definitely check out this interview guide. At least it is very very crucial in terms of cracking the interview. And yeah, I think that's all about my journey. And another thing, I would say that post interview communication, well, some programs will like tell you on your face that we do not want any post interview communication. So don't do anything. But the others, you can just say, like what I have done, I have said everybody a thank you notes. But during the rank order list timeline, I I texted only, I mean, I emailed only the program I was really hoping and praying to match. That is the Sutter Health Alphabets. So I told the program director that this is my good that I'm ranking you number 1. But I didn't do like I didn't tell to my top 5. I only said only one email to the number 1 program. But it's up to you. I know many people have different approach, and there's, I don't know, like nothing wrong about it. Whatever you feel like doing, that's it. And if you have any specific questions, you can definitely text me. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much, Sumana. Much appreciate your very, very detailed guidance and tips. And, obviously you shared your profile. So thank you. And, congratulations again on your match, and good luck in your
Thank you so much.
upcoming residency.
Thank you so much. One thing, Pawan, I do just would like to add, like I was going through the data, like New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania. Of course, these are the most IMG friendly state, but I matched in California, and I want to tell you the secret behind it is a strong family tie. Strong
Correct.
family tie doesn't mean, oh, I have a cousin there, I have some like distant uncle there. No, it has to be spouse, or like kids, or like your parents. Like most of my interviews I got from California programs, just because I had my spouse is from Berkeley. So I got interviews, and the program I matched is only 10 minutes. It's walkable. So strong family tie is important if you want to match in California. Otherwise, it's better to stay away from it.
Yeah, no, that's a good point, and let me expand on that. A lot of students have this question. So, IMG friendly or non-friendly, that that's based on data. But like Sumana said, and it's not only applies to California. Even I've had students match in the Dakotas, North Dakota, South Dakota, Missouri, Arkansas, states which otherwise you would not say are IMG friendly, but you have someone living there for 4 or 5 years, the family is there, they've done their rotations. So when you live there, when you develop a network, then you are not part of that data which says it is IMG unfriendly or friendly, because you spend quite a bit number of time years there, and they feel that you're part of the community. So that's why then you tend to get a lot more interviews, even from IMG unfriendly states, if you
Right.
live. Yeah, that's good. Okay, thank you, Sumana. I will take a couple of other questions that have come up, and then we'll go to Dr. Koresh, our student. So first question was, like Sumana said, about the interview prep. So we do have plans actually. Sejal, if you can post the link for gold and platinum, both of them do come with comprehensive interview preparation. And in fact, if you join by Wednesday, both these plans or any of these plans, you get an additional mock interview. So take a look at the match plan, which comes with comprehensive interview preparation, all classes, about 35 hours. I think Sejal has just posted it. Take a look. So that's one. It'll help you. The second, someone was asking me about, and I'm just going through the chat, in terms of tele-rotation. So advantages of tele-rotation. So we will have a webinar, detailed webinar next weekend where we'll talk about it. But yes, we can understand there is a lot of uncertainty during these times, right? Visa is uncertain, travel has become a lot of uncertain. So tele-rotations can be a very good way if you have issues of finances, of visa and all that. Does it compare one-on-one with on-site rotation? Probably not. But just as in COVID and during other times, tele-rotations come up. If you don't have visa or if you have issues, in fact, next weekend you will also see one of our students who matched only with tele-rotation. So if you play the tele-rotations right, match is certainly possible even with that. In fact, one of our tele-rotations with a combo plan. So Aarti, maybe you can send that link. With tele-rotations research, there's a great combo. You can get manuscript, abstract, and a tele-rotations for a very affordable price. So Sejal has just put that link for a tele-rotation. There's also a combo involved with that if you want to check that combo. In fact, then there are a couple of other residency programs that we work with that do tele-rotations in family medicine, and there's another one in New Jersey, I think. So take a look, go to our website, filter by tele-rotations, and then you can take a look there. So that's on tele-rotation. Then there was a question on difference between visa seeking and non-visa seeking IMG. Visa seeking IMG is someone who is looking for either H1 or J1 visa. Non-visa seeking IMG, as Sumana was, people who already have work authorization. It could be green card, citizenship, H4, EAD, or any kind of work authorization that does not need the hospital to sponsor an H1 or ECFMG to sponsor the visa for you. So someone is asking tele-rotation and interview prep combo. So Sejal, I think Ashma is asking. So if you can, Aarti, if you can put that combo link. And Ashma, Aarti is going to put that link. Okay, let's move on, and I'll continue to answer questions. I do see a question which I will answer before I get to Koresh. general surgery an easy specialty to compete with as an IMG. The challenge with general surgery is you cannot directly get into general surgery unless you have a home country residency or very strong US research. So most of our students who go into surgery have to go through the prelim surgery route. Prelim surgery route is very, very doable. Okay. With that, let me give it to Koresh. Koresh, welcome. And it looks like you are driving, but thank you for taking time out. Appreciate it. If you can start off with your profile and then your tips for the students.
My name is Koresh. I graduated during COVID 2020 from southern part of India. So I cleared my step 1, 2, 3, and I applied for match for family and internal. I matched into family program in Ohio. So Sarthi has really been helpful in guiding me. I would say Pawan has been really incredible, in choosing the right kind of programs and helping me direct and write my CV in the realistic way, which is appealing to the programs and pick my application and call me for an interview. So the tips that I'd like to share with you guys is have the clarity of which specialty you're applying to. So having that straight ahead gives you a right kind of edge to direct your CV, write your experiences, do the right kind of rotations, right kind of research, and even the right kind of programs that you want to apply to. If you are doing rotations in, say, let's say in Ohio, I matched in Ohio, I did my rotations in Ohio. Let's say you're doing rotations in Ohio and then you apply somewhere in New Mexico, that's not going to work. So they see whether you have a connection to the state, whether you understand the healthcare system there, whether you know the demographics, the patient population. All these things matters when you are especially a visa seeking IMG like me. So know which specialty you're applying. And the second thing is make sure you do the right kind of rotations. And if you want to apply for internal medicine or let's say family medicine, focus most of your rotations towards family medicine, or even internal medicine works. But if you do rotations, surgical rotations, and you do pediatrical rotations, and you do write those experience in your personal CV or in your personal statement or in your CV, it might look as if you're not aiming for that specialty. It might look as if you're taking that as a backup specialty. And coming to family medicine, if you're really interested in family medicine is a great specialty to match into. You have the option to be a hospitalist or to work on the internal medicine side or work on the pediatric side or work on the OB side. So Pound really helped me to understand how family medicine is very key and crucial in US healthcare system. And also doing the right kind of rotations helps. Sarthi really helps in choosing the right kind of rotations so that you can direct your CV towards the specific specialty and the programs. And the most important tip that I'd like to give and how Pawan helped me is how you write your experiences matter most. They are really crucial in helping you secure your interviews. So when you write your experiences, it has to be detailed. It's not just I went to the rotation and did this and did that. It has to be clear. You have to mention if you had a unique case, if you did a research, or if you had an interaction with your attending. All these things need to be mentioned. And the last tip that I would like to add is when you're applying for programs, look at the programs. Are they visa accepting programs? Are they really interested in IMGs? Have the previous years have selected IMG visa seeking candidates, and does your profile really match with those programs? So that way you will save money on the applications and as well as give you a right kind of edge when they call you for an interview. Thank you so much for your time.
Well, thank you, Koresh. And I know you're driving, so thank you for taking time out. Appreciate it. That was Koresh, our student. I will take a couple of other questions then we move on. So, family medicine, like he said, sorry, is a different specialty. A lot of students do confuse and they try to, target different specialties. So, understand what family medicine is looking for: primary care, women's health, OB-GYN, peds kind of experience, but it is still a separate specialty. And we do have several rotations in family medicine. So especially with a program director. It's a tele rotation, so Aarti can probably send that link. Then there is also rotations, other in Garnet Health and all that in New York that you can look at. So Aarti, probably you can send those links if people are interested in FM. Now, I'm seeing a question about OB-GYN and how competitive it is, what states you recommend. OB-GYN is one of the most competitive specialties, but like I said, our students do match into it. There was one student who matched into categorical OB-GYN. If you want to match into categorical OB-GYN, generally they expect a lot of research, a lot of hopefully a home country residency, and it also depends on your score. So in terms of states, it's going to be one of, New York, New Jersey kind of state. We've had a student match in OB-GYN categorical, couple of them this year. One student is matched in a prelim at Yale University. So OB-GYN is very much possible. You just have to build a profile. And if you're interested, look up our match plans. We work with both these students in terms of building their profile and getting them matched. Okay. We will come or we'll talk about diagnostic and interventional radiology. So no worries on that. By the way, I did want to say that my team and a lot of match students along with me are going to be in India in the month of May. So Sejal, if you can post that link, if you are in India, Hyderabad, Ahmedabad, Bangalore, and Delhi, we can certainly meet with you face to face. It's a free event, so you don't have to pay anything. If nothing else, you'll get free snacks, and you'll interact with other applicants. So a lot of networking opportunities, and you will see the tips, from other applicants as well, right? So take a look at that. Okay, now let's move on. I think the next speaker is Dr. Anila Khan. So Anila, welcome. And very glad to see you. It's been a while. So so all yours. Please share your experiences, your profile to help the students.
Thank you so much for inviting me to this forum, and I really want to have this opportunity to thank you in person because we never got the time to, connect back. But thank you, Sarthi team. Thank you, Mr. Pawan. You've been a great help. So according to my credentials, I actually matched in 2024 match, and I'm a very old graduate. When I applied for the match, I had done my step 1 and step 2. But just near the application, I remember I had called you and asked you, what else can I do? And you said, just do your step 3. And I took your word for it. I took the dates, and before I submitted my application, I had my step 3 in hand. So I didn't have any attempts on any of the steps, and I was a non-visa requiring candidate. I applied for around 200 programs in total, out of which 120 were family medicine and 80 were internal medicine. I got 3 interviews, and then I matched to my first position, which I had put on the list, and it is the South Texas Health System GME Consortium. It was the new program. So that's about my credentials. As far as the important tips are, I would say that for those applicants who will be applying, we can divide it into 3 phases, maybe like a pre-match, pre-application things that you need to do, something that you would be doing during the application season, and once the match has already taken place. So right now it's like a pre-application time. So I would highly recommend everybody to get as much as US clinical experience, whether it is through telerotations, whether it's in person. Those who cannot travel, telerotation is a really good option. Though I was here in United States, but I was working full time, so I was not able to do a rotation in a certain month. So I did a telerotation with Sarthi that was very, very helpful. And trust me, when you put these experiences on your ERAS, they do go one by one and ask you. And telehealth has become so much popular here in United States that tele rotation would definitely help you answer those questions, because when you're doing those EMRs, you're putting the patient encounters, it really helps as an experience. Then also get as much research as possible, because research is really helpful, especially for those programs who will be putting the foundation in. They need people who have research experiences. Other than that, as you near the application submission, your ERAS, your letter of recommendations, and your personal statement has to be really, really well written. And I think Sarthi had really made me understand how the ERAS would be, because you are not there in front of them. It's your application or in your personal statement that they see. And trust me, they read word by word. And how we write our resume, our CV is entirely different than how ERAS application is written. Like one of the math student has pointed out, it's what you have learned, what cases you have seen. So it's totally different. What I had in mind and what I did with Sarthi then. Then what we need to do during the application season. I know there is a WhatsApp group that Sarthi connects you, and that's very helpful, because every time you have like 1,000 questions in your mind, and you just type those questions in and somebody answers you, and that's very knowledgeable. How you put in your thank you letters, or how you put in your letter of intent through the email, that's important. And then most important is the interview. I was connected to two mentors when I had my interview preparation with Sarthi, and 80% of the question that they had on that Excel sheet were the ones that I had to answer in all three of those interviews. So I felt, when I came out of the interview, I felt that yes, I might get a chance. I have a really good chance of matching in those programs. And then hopefully everybody matches, but if not, just always think it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. You need to keep your spirits high. You need to keep working. And after match also, there are positions that keep opening. There are programs that are accredited before the residency starts. So you always have a shot. Just keep your spirits high, keep working hard. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Anila. And yes, we haven't spoken in a while, but thank you. You're a busy resident and you took time. So always appreciate you helping the IMDs.
Of course, yes. And yes, one of the candidates did say about family ties. It's very important, because this time I got the chance to see the other side of the equation, where people were actually recruiting people for interviews, and we were in some of those meet and greets as well. So people do look for, in which state you have worked. It's very important, because a lot of states have different rules. So they do see where you have worked, where you will go after the residency, because the programs want to retain people. So that's very important too.
Yes, absolutely. That's a good point. And if you don't have ties to US, let's say you are on visitor visa, B1, B2, you don't really care where you settle down, go back to the states with the highest IMG match rate, right? I mean, if you have family in North Dakota, that is understandable. Family in California, etc., understandable. If not, remember New York, New Jersey, Ohio, those states that I showed. If you don't have a preference, then look for those states. But thank you, Anila. Thank you. I appreciate
Thank you so much.
your time.
Thank
you. All right. Before we move on to Dr. Surya, I think one of the things you should do is our Telegram group that Sejal has just posted. Join that. It's all free. We'll help you there. Of course, we have a separate Telegram group for our close students. And, this is something that a lot of students have mentioned. So I do want you to know that when it comes to our match plans, and maybe Sejal, you can post the link. When it comes to our match plans, and probably I'll show you the screen, we do have a separate group. So let me just take a minute to show this. So this is, for example, the Platinum Plan page. If you go to our website, USMLESarthi.com/platinum, what Sejal also shared, or Aarti shared. You will see step by step what we do each month. You will get a separate mentor in addition to me. You have one-on-one meetings. You have one-on-one guidance sessions with me. We have detailed classes. What I think Sumana and others have mentioned in terms of classes. So we cover about 35 hours of classes which are live on Match, and then another 35-40 on interview preparation. All classes are live and they are recorded, each and every aspect of your ERA CV, PS, program selection. That's what we cover. ERA CV and personal statement, again, read about it. You get a review by physician, by journalist, a couple of reviews, program list, interview preparation, like I think Sumana mentioned. So that part of both gold and platinum, mock interviews, and this is where I was talking, the Sarthi community. It's a separate Telegram group run by our panelists. Each and every question is answered there. So that's something I just wanted to point out for those of you who are trying to now decide whether to join or not. The other thing which a lot of students had was in terms of research. I think I saw a question on research. So this is where there are two research programs I want to highlight. You may have heard of the CIBNP research program based in California with Dr. Hassan Tohid. So we have now a special arrangement with him. They are offering a plan only for Sarthi students. So you can get 2 first author papers and a total, 6 papers. If you enroll through Sarthi. So take a look at this research program, especially for those of you applying in the season. This could be something interesting, you in your specialty, whether it's neuro or IM or FM, if you're interested, you can work on 2 first author paper in that specialty. So that's something. Then the other thing was this combo with Dr. Weissman, who's a director of clinical research at Hackensack. It is called C2P, Concept to Publication. That's also a very exciting research course. You can look at it. That does come with an LOR also. Both the programs come with an LOR. So you can work on a full manuscript with Dr. Weissman and get an LOR. You can work on a poster or abstract, or you can work on both, right? So take a look at that. And I think someone had a question on this combo. So take a look, including telerotation, manuscript, and abstract. So if you go to this page, Aarti, you can put a link in the chat. That will help you figure out. And of course, email us if you have any questions. Okay, let's move on. Our other speaker is Dr. Surya. So welcome, Surya.
Hi, Pavan. Nice to see you again, and thank you for giving me this opportunity. So, I would introduce myself to everyone else. I'm Surya. I'm a transitional year resident at Desert Regional Medical Center in California. So, I matched last year. It was not through the usual match, it was outside the match. Like, I went into SOAP and then scrambled into this position. So, I would like to talk about my credentials as well. I'm an old graduate. I graduated in 2016. Then I did some rotations. During the pandemic, I was back in India. And after the pandemic, I came to the US, did more rotations, research, and I didn't match. So it was Pavan and everyone in Sarthi and my great network of friends in Sardi who kept me motivated to keep trying, and I really appreciate the support that you gave me, and the interview preps, everything, every opportunities provided by Sardi, I used it. So I think that played a huge role in my success. Like I matched now to neurology at UT Health Tyler. So when I matched into transitional year, I didn't know I can still pursue neurology. I was confused. I was like, oh my god, is it like a dead end where I should apply, what specialty I should apply to? But since I was already planning to apply to neurology, I tried, and I also attended all the conferences where I network with mentors, program directors, and build connections. And they saw that I am really interested. They also motivated me to keep applying, and eventually I matched. And I don't know whom I should give the credit to, like, because there are so many components. Be it my mentor, by med school, but Pavan, you played a really great role, and I really want to thank you at this time.
Well, it's all your hard work, Surya.
And regarding the tips to students, like, I know a lot. Transitional year can feel like a scary one, but my co-residents, they also didn't match to advanced positions in to begin with, but we all matched during this match cycle. So it is possible, and I would say, if you don't find any categorical spot, you can always try for transitional year, and that helps you get put your step in the system and get experiences, and it increased my number of interviews, and they knew that I am familiar with the US healthcare system, and that's a strong booster for my application. So that's one tip I can say. And I'm an old graduate. I said my year is 2016. So all the old graduates out there, don't feel demotivated if you win unmatched this time. Just keep trying, and you will match.
Well, thank you, Surya. I appreciate your motivating talk. And for those of you, like she said, neurology is very competitive, and you will hear from Dr. Aditya Chandpura also, who's there. But there may be times that you're not able to match directly into a 4-year categorical neuro program. So then this route of transitional programs is not a bad idea. Like she said, people match in transitional, and then they can match into the advanced specialty. So if you guys are looking at some of the related rotations, Aarti probably can send you that link. We do work with a couple of transitional programs, so you can either do a tele with them, do a rotation with them to get a sense of what a transitional program looks like. So, Surya, there is a question which maybe you can answer. I mean, is transitional year same as a preliminary year? Do you have to reapply for match again in PG2 position?
Transitional year is definitely different from preliminary year. Preliminary year has more internal medicine experiences. So for neurology, we want 6 months internal medicine experience. So I spoke to my program director and arranged my rotations in that way. So I meet the ACGME criteria. So I don't have to repeat my PGY1. Yes.
And the second part of the question, which I think is obvious, that you already mentioned, do you have to apply to a PG2 or advanced position? So I think the answer is yes.
Yes, you. Another thing is, Pawan, my co-resident, he matched to categorical position, neurology.
Mhm.
So he's completing transitional year. He's going to PGY1 neurology. So and during my application, I applied to all categorical and advanced positions in neurology.
Okay, well, thank you. Thank you, Surya. Appreciate your time. Again, you are all busy residents, so I always appreciate you taking time out on a weekend when you can probably sleep in. So, thank you for that. There is another question I'll take. The question, will 2 research paper with Sarthi be enough to apply for the match? I would say it depends on the specialty, but yes, if you go for Dr. Weissman's combo or the CIB, if you have other parts of the puzzle, scores, etc., all done, they should be good enough. But you can get more than 2 as well. Is transitional year working for OB-GYN? For OB-GYN, you want to look at preliminary surgery positions. Okay. About anesthesia residency, is it IMG friendly? Which states would you suggest? I'm an international anesthesia PG and non-visa requiring applicant. So if you don't require visa, things become easier. You are able to apply to more programs. But yes, anesthesia is not as easy in terms of the number of spots. It is more competitive. Most students in anesthesia do go through a prelim surgery year. So there is a prelim year that you have to go through. Obviously, it becomes easier to match if you have a home country residency. So we did have a few folks who have home country residency in anesthesia before they, started a prelim residency. Data on someone with an attempt on step one. Now, NRMP does not publish, the attempt and all that data. They give you probably average step one scores. We do have a lot of students who match after the attempt. So within Sarthi, we have that, but of course, NRMP does not publish the data. So Sriram, I think you're asking about timeline, time to give step one and CK. I think it all depends on your profile, where you are in your med school, what the graduation year is. But like I said, if you are in India and those 4 cities, do meet us there. We will discuss all about timeline there as well. Okay. With that, I think our next speaker is Dr. Aditya Chanpura. So welcome, and very glad to see you again. I think they are all eagerly waiting for your motivational talk.
Thank you so much for the introduction, and I'm glad I can be here today. So I'll introduce myself briefly. I am doing neurology residency right now. I'm PGY1, will be getting into PGY2. And so my journey is a little different in a way because I was doing a master's in public health. So that actually helped me. So I was fixed. I had decided that I'm going to do neurology before I even applied. And I had no backup plan, that neurology was the only thing that I wanted to do. So I used my MPH and the access to hospitals, access to the faculty to make my CV and profile strong only in terms of neurology. So that was very effective because being in the same institute, they consider you like their student. So that was really beneficial. And for anyone who is thinking of doing MPH, it depends if you want to, spend that kind of money, or also it is important that you choose which university you choose, because some of the universities, they you might match in, it's difficult to match into those programs. So choosing the right university for MPH is also one thing. But I would say that if you are, hell-bent on a specific specialty, then I would suggest you just go for it, because, and it's not usually the case that you would match in the first time. I think the most common I've seen is people match during their second cycle. First cycle is usually understanding how things are working, but second cycle is the highest probability of people that match. And I also have this questions I get from people that for USCE, building network and these things. So first of all, whenever you get a USCE, the LOR depends on what you're doing over there for 1 month. Like you get 1 full month with the faculties. And if you don't make sure that you are getting a letter from them, then it is going to be really, it doesn't look good if you don't get a good letter from them. Because most of the people, they are choosing candidates based on 10-15 minutes of interview, but you get 1 full month with them. So you have to make sure. Now, how can you, shine or, look good on your rotations? I think the first key thing is that you should know what you are doing over there, and you should have a specific goal and strategy in mind, that how can you extract that time in the best way possible. So a lot of students come directly to the US without any exposure to clinics back home. I would say if you have some kind of experience, or if during your medical school, if you go outside of your hospital, go to private clinics and just shadow doctors over there for 2-3 hours. It will really help you gain insights into how you speak to the patients. It will give you clinical cues that how do you make the decisions? You will know what is important, what is not important, and choose a special. If you have a specialty in mind, that is great. And most of the doctors in India who are in practice, if you just go and ask them that, is it okay if I shadow you? I don't think anyone would, deny it outrightly. Even if someone denies it, you can easily ask other doctors, because most of the medical schools are in the cities. Try to, get in touch with those physicians and build that, because that will really improve your clinical rotation exponentially. It will give you good letters. And letters are very crucial, because as Dr. Surya also mentioned, that these people are reading everything about you because they don't know you. So you have to make sure that they are saying good things about you in the letter. And if you are being shy during the rotation, if you're not speaking up, if you are not talking to those people, if you're not interacting with people, then it you won't get a good letter. You will get a generalized letter. So that is one thing. And also, when you go there, you have to make connections with everyone in the rotation, be it the nurse, be it the PCA working there, be it the residents, be it the medical students. You have to make sure that everyone, you are interacting with everyone. Because if you just interact with the faculty, don't interact with others, it's not going to, it will improve completely. When you are interacting with everyone, everyone is going to support you. I'll give you an example. So I was doing a rotation somewhere. I had really good relation with the receptionist over there, who is basically a nurse who sets clinic times for people. Now I wanted to work with the chairman of that institute, and I would just have nice conversations with her whenever I was there. And I asked her that, do you know when the chairman will come for the chairman was going to see only one patient. Now, when I was just roaming around and looking that now who should I find and who should I rotate, and this receptionist, she walks from her seat, she comes to me, she finds me and tells me chairman is coming right now, you go there. And that is, extremely important. Even the chairman saw it, that who is this guy that they are calling. So these small things, it will change the perception for about you in their eyes. It will give them trust on you, that they can, this guy, he will take care of the residency, or he's ready for responsibility or something like that. So that is one thing. So if you could, keep pushing it, I think all these comes from experience. And once you spend enough time with these people, you will know how things function. But don't rush it. I would say please complete step 1, 2 before you even think about rotations, because here you need to be on point. If you are in dilemma with you are preparing for step 2 and also doing rotations, you think, just like the previous question that was asked, that is 2 research paper enough to apply? I mean, no research is needed to apply. An application, nothing is required. But is it enough for you to match? Have you done enough to match? Have you done enough to gain their trust? Those things are really important, I feel. And and whenever you are there with someone, you have to make sure that those people know you, and you have to put your best foot forward, and don't be shy. I would say don't be shy, and please speak to as many people as you can over there. And that is my 2 bits. But I wish good luck to everyone on this journey. And it is a long, hard journey, but everyone makes it, whoever tries or whoever is willing.
Thank you, Aditya. As usual, very, very motivating and very, very, I think, perceptive. And you hit the nail on the head about, every small thing matters, whether it is you're communicating with a nurse or a janitor or whosoever. Every small bit in your communication, in outreach matters. So, yes, absolutely. I think very, very well said.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
But thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Khera, for the opportunity.
Thank you. All right, so let's move on. So next is Dr. Komal Bhender, our student who matched recently. So I'm gonna make her a co-host. So Komal, welcome, and hopefully you're enjoying your downtime there back home.
Hi.
But yes, welcome. Please introduce yourself, and then we are all looking forward to your tips.
Thank you so much for having me, Pawan, and thank you for your nice words. I'm indeed enjoying my time home. And hello, everyone. I'm Komal Preet Kaur, or Komal Minder, as Pawan mentioned me. So I recently matched into psychiatry at Kavaya Delta. It's in Visalia, California. And something that kept myself going in this USMLE journey was one of my friends told me that for USML, it is not if, it is when. So I'm sure everyone who is joining, like myself, will match. And the thing is, do you want to give 200% one year, or do you want to keep on giving 50% every year? So it's better to give as much as you can, and whatever you can. So I had very exceptional circumstances, like everyone. My journey was filled with its own hardships. I was navigating so many issues in my personal life. And when I first applied, my visa got rejected for rotations. And then COVID hit, and then I had 2 years of setback. Like most of the people, they were set back by COVID. And the my takeaway always is never give up. And I was very adamant that I want to match in psychiatry and grab all the opportunities, put on that extra 2 hours, leave that 2 hours of sleep. And that thing, it's a beautiful feeling when you receive that email about you have matched, and when you see that you have matched at whatever you wanted, or you got the position you wanted. So you will forget the extra hours that you were staying awake, or extra work that you were putting in. And whatever needs to be done, all the beautiful resources are very nicely provided by Sarthi. How to write an email, they help you with your CV, ERAS, and how to approach people. So I think it's a very good platform as well. And it helped me for sure, because we know we are ready to put on in the hard work, but we need the right path that we need to walk on. So never think if someone is telling you that this is undoable. I was myself told by everyone ki if you want to do psychiatry, why don't you just pursue in India? It's way comparatively easier to get into it. And and if you're hell bent on getting into psychiatry, then you will have to wait. You'll have to do something. Yes, I had to do so much. I had to do research, psychiatry oriented. The CV has to be very psychiatry oriented. And I'm sure that's true for any specialty. They want to see if you are genuinely interested. And never give up or never lose hope. So attend. It is not when, if you will, it is when you will. So that is what I have to say. But if anyone has any questions for me, I'm more than happy to answer that.
Yeah. Any questions for Komal? So if you have any specific questions, you can post in the chat, especially psych related, and then we can move on. Otherwise, I'll take the questions as well. But yeah, otherwise, congratulations again, Komal. Wonderful match. Psychiatry is becoming a lot more difficult, but I think what you and Aditya both said, the focus really matters. If you really want a specialty, I don't think you should dilly-dally. The focus is the key here. So I think
I always remember this saying. One of my teacher told me that it should be, if anyone can relate to it, कि अर्जुन की तरह निशाना होना चाहिए. You should
correct.
always look to the eye of the bird.
I love the bird. Yes, absolutely. So there is a question: did you do rotation in psychiatry?
Yes, indeed, I did. So all of my rotations have been in psychiatry. I had around 11 months of rotation, and this was the Kavaya. I was working voluntarily with the street medicine team of Kavaya, a sister program called Good Samaritan Hospital in Bakersfield. And I received this interview because of that and because of a connection. I was pursuing the program director and everyone, and through the rotation itself. And I received this interview. It was like someone left the slot, and I received it a day before. So in January, they said if you're available tomorrow for an interview. So till January, keep on doing rotations. You don't know when the right connection will come your path, cross your path, and rest. It works. It works perfectly.
Yeah, yeah. No, thank you. Thank you very much, Komal, for your time. Appreciate it. And I'll see you in the US soon.
Yes.
Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you. Okay, so there's another question. If I want to apply for IMPs and FM, how should I divide my rotation? So, obviously remember that applying to 3 specialties is challenging. You are playing with 10 experiences in ERA. So the balance always has to be there. PEDS and FM, there are some common rotations. I would say, the challenge here is if you are applying to 3 specialties, you're already taking about 6 to 7 months of rotation. So the first question is, do you want to apply to 3 specialties? Look at your profile and see if you can drop it down to 2. I think 2 is more manageable and easier. But if you want to apply to 3, I would say at least 2 LORs, 2 months in each specialty. Without that is very hard. Okay, let's move on. And I think Ayesha is our next speaker. So Ayesha, welcome and congratulations on your pre-match. But introduce yourself and then we can go from there.
Thank you so much, sir. And greetings, everyone. My name is Ayesha Nishad, and I matched into internal medicine residency at White River Health in Batesville in Arkansas. And so a little bit about my background. This was my second cycle, and I have graduated. I did my MBBS in India, and I graduated in 2015, so making me an older graduate. So it was challenging for me because, and also after graduating, I did residency in ophthalmology, which was different from the specialty in which I was applying to. So these were challenges that I had right in front of me, being an older graduate and having an experience in another specialty. So last year I knew what things went wrong. I actually knew where I was lacking. So there were a few areas I did not have my step 3 last year. I had only 3 months of clinical rotation, and one was tele-rotation, and the other 2 were outpatient rotation. So this time I made sure that all of my rotation would be inpatient. And I also made sure that all of my rotation would be into residency program. So I did 5 months of clinical rotation this year. I really wanted to do research, but however, I could not get into any research position. So I chose to spend my whatever time I had doing as many clinical rotations as I could. So I was very fortunate. I got into 4 different rotations. I did in one place, I did 2 months of rotation. And in all that duration of time, I made sure I took maximum out of every place. So one place I was rotating, I was with the infectious disease team. So what I did that I just got to know that they are writing a case report. For example, even if you are not you need to grab every opportunity you have. So what I did in that, I'll give you an example. So what I did there, I got to know that they are writing a case report about a very rare bacterial infection, which they recently found in one of the patients who was admitted. So I went to my preceptor. Without any hesitation, I told him that I would really want to contribute in any form in that writing. So he was very happy. He said, yes, of course, you can write about anything. So I got in touch with the other residents and the medical students who were working on that report. And I took extra time. I put my 100% in that case report, and they got that published. So, and I took that to another step. So I asked my preceptor that I would like to publish it I would like to present it as a poster in one of the conferences in San Francisco, which was being held. So he said that we would not be able to fund you. I said that's okay. I would do that on my own. So I presented as a poster as well. So it really helped push my application a little further. Beside that, in my next rotation, where I was for 2 months, I rotated with my preceptor. Beside that, I made connection with other faculty as well who were in the residency. They were like one of the core faculty of the residency program. So I made connection with them. I went forward and asked them whether I could shadow them for 1 week or 2 weeks. And they were very happy to accept me. So they got to know me more personally, how I was as a student. And I made sure that I was seen during that rotation. I used to ask about their feedbacks after a month, after a week or after 2 weeks. I used to go and ask them how could I improve on my case presentation, how I can be better. And one thing I would like to highlight that there's always a fine line that like whenever you are trying to make yourself seen, you should not cross a boundary. Like you should not be jumping to answer the question when it's asked. Wait for your turn, because whenever you are like very overexcited, it doesn't come out very good. So I used to wait for my turn. Whenever like they ask me a question, then I'm going to answer that question. So beside that, in my another rotation was with the critical care team, but that really made a big difference because coming from ophthalmology background, it was like I gave my 100% that ICU rotation. And as Dr. Aditya said, that not only faculty that you have to make a connection with, it's with entire team. So I was talking to the residents, I was talking to the nurse practitioner, to the entire team in the ICU. I used to be there before the resident came. I used to leave after the resident used to leave. That was something that residents even they noticed. So because when your preceptor is writing a letter of recommendation, there are other observers also with him who are there rotating, and they even forget some details about you. But that time they ask other people for the feedback. They take that into consideration when they are writing a letter of recommendation, and that really helps to strengthen your letter of recommendation. So it's very advisable that you talk to everybody, make connection with everyone, and you put a smile whenever you are greeting everyone. You greet everybody, say good morning, and when you are leaving, say goodbye. Those small gestures make a lot of difference because that's very uncommon from where we are coming. It really takes practice to build that thing within you, and it really helps. And beside that, I would say what really worked for me was there were things that I did not know how to, for example, writing emails, how to make my application be more seen. There, Sarthi really helped me. It really helped me to get more interviews this time, how I could outreach the programs, how I could send emails and make my application. Because again, this is one of some of the programs, they have year of graduation as a filter. So many of times our application get filtered out. So what to do next in that case? So you can send emails and you can really help your application be seen in that case. So yeah, these are the things that really helped me this time.
Yeah. And absolutely for those of you who are listening, because Ayesha, we do get a lot of questions. I have done a home country residency, but it is in a different specialty. So thank you for clarifying that it is possible to match in a different specialty in the US. So I think that is an important lesson for all of us.
Yes, absolutely. So it's what is important is whatever specialty you're going for, even if you have not done your residency in that specialty, is different from what you are going for. You have to be very genuine in your reasons why you are choosing for that specialty. And you have to show your dedication to that specialty. Because I graduated in 2015, and I completed my post-graduation in 2019. After a few years of ophthalmology practice, I started internal medicine. And since past 4 years, I have been fully dedicated to internal medicine. And that's what I conveyed through my application, through my work, and through my observerships and rotations, through my research and everything. So this is how I convinced them that this is what I want to do for the rest of my life.
Yeah, and you matched in Arkansas. So, the question about IMG friendly, non-friendly. So it's those are statistics, but it does not mean that IMG friendly programs do not exist in other states. So, congratulations once again.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right. So let me answer other questions as we, our panelists go away. So thank you, Ayesha, for that. The question is about Sarthi's research program. Yes, you can do it remotely. There's no issue with it. I think the other thing that Ayesha had mentioned about was the inpatient rotations. So I do want to highlight that, yes, we do have inpatient rotations. So let me share that link and so you can explore yourself. So Aarti can put this link. So we do have a lot of inpatient rotations. If you go on this web page, sarthi.com, clinical rotations, clinica rotations. So that's where you will be able to see inpatient rotations exclusively. And the other thing which you can do is actually go to directly to our website right here, USMLE residency match.usmlesarthi.com. And if you just register and get started, you should be able to see filter it by a lot of ways. So if you want only program director rotations, or if you want to go for type of rotations, hands-on versus tele, or if you just select inpatient and all of that. So if you go to this website that Aarti can share on with in the chat, residencymatch.usmlesarthi.com, you can actually see a lot of offers and rotations here. And like I mentioned earlier, there are direct links to our inpatient rotations also. So with that, I think if there are any other questions, I am happy to take. Let me see if there are other questions. Remember, like I said, we can meet you in India if you are there. So in May, in the 4 locations in India, we'll be there. And next week, we do have another webinar that is focused just on rotations and research. And especially, I think I saw a question in this uncertain times, how do we navigate it? So Sriram is asking this question. So the visa issue or whatever you are seeing is mostly on F1. So I don't think for residency programs for J and H, there is an issue. I mean, we've had a very successful match. You all know it. You have seen the data for 2025 that came out in March. And these all students are getting ready to start their residency. So it's not really the current environment does not impact the residency match. There are some issues with student visas, F1 to be precise, but nothing that we have seen on the physician. As you probably know, US needs a lot of primary care physicians and physicians in general. I mean, we've had students match directly in fellowships, interventional cardiology, heart failure cardiology, geriatrics. So there is a lot of demand in the US, and the match rate is not impacted by what you may have seen or heard. With that, if there are any other questions, I'm here. Otherwise, we will see you next week. I'll keep this window open so that you can grab the link and do subscribe to the YouTube channel. This video will be uploaded there. So Sejal, if you've not done that, if you can post the link to the channel and both Instagram as well. And can you please address radiology? Yes, I can. Radiology, again, there are 2 pathways to match into radiology. One is the alternate pathway. We've had students each year, including this year. If you have a home country residency, you can avoid the residency pathway, go directly into fellowship and practice. So that is the alternate pathway. But you can also match into radiology and I'm talking diagnostic radiology. In the US, very high scores are needed because it is one of the most competitive ones. and relevant research. I think those are the two main things. Interventional radiology tends to be very, very hard unless you are from, say, AIMS or Aga Khan or one of the top renowned institutes in the world, and you're a recent graduate. If we apply into IM, can we put up a neurology LOR? It's very hard to convince an IM program that you are interested in IM if you are putting a neuro LOR. So the answer is likely not. Okay. How to match into surgical specialty without a home country residency? Like I mentioned, you will probably have to take a prelim surgery route. Matching directly into surgical general surgery or any of the surgical specialties directly can be a challenge. So you can apply to both categorical and prelim positions. Okay. All right. With that said, thank you, everyone. We will see you next week on another webinar on rotations and research, where we'll talk a lot more about the current visa situation, how you can do the best. And also, I'll see you, for those of you in India, I'll see you there in May.
Thank you so much for watching. We hope that video provided valuable insights for your journey. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Instagram and Twitter. And check out our website for details on how we can guide you to a successful match.